Hey, what's going on? Thank you for stopping by and listening to The Fight Within the Fight. I'm your host, Rockefeller Brown. If you would, go ahead and hit that like, that subscribe button, and we'll go ahead and get into this. So now the person that's our guest today is a young man that I've had a chance to learn more about him, to watch him grow, is Keith Ekwese. How's it going today, man?
It's going good. It's going good.
Yes. Man, we've got a good little history behind us, huh?
Yes, pretty good amount. From very early teenage years.
Yes. And we started. First time I saw him was in the gym, and we ended up, and we're gonna talk later on. We're gonna be talking about how we came together. We started doing competition and things like that, and we started to learn more and I started to learn more about this young man that we're gonna talk later on as the conversation go along. You know what I mean? But it's been a while. It's been a good little time that I've watched him from the gym growing to a young man where he's at right now, and had to hear some of the things that he had to go through, and like I said, we'll go ahead and get into it. So we'll start off at the beginning, where we all start from, where you're born, where you grew up and things like that. So the young years. So you was born.
I was born in the U.S., Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit, okay.
And I was born to two Cameroonian immigrants. But shortly after I was born, I was then sent over to Cameroon.
So we're born here and had to go back over there. Okay, but you was young, so you didn't have a real good chance to get used to here, and then went over there or something like that.
Yeah.
So that wasn't too bad. So while you was there, did you get a chance to remember some of the things while you was young over there?
Yes, there were, it wasn't too much because I was a little kid, but I do remember kind of a lot of things. Like they're fragmented out, but they did happen. And when I went back there recently and I told them about it, and it was things that was happening, especially at that time. So I did remember a lot that, I still have with me today.
Okay. So man, okay. Again, the language there. Can you say that again for me?
Okay, there's a lot, but what we spoke was like pidgin.
Okay,
Right?
okay, that okay.
It's a more of a dialect, but at the same time, almost like how Jamaicans have a patois or something like that.
Okay,
It's
yeah.
like English, but there's so that not only does the accent kind of change how you hear it, but also some words, some phrasing, and some functions of it. So there was a lot of things very different. Like if my mother spoke pidgin to somebody here, they wouldn't understand what she was saying, but I hear it every day.
Gotcha. So, were there any? Were they talking any English over there, or everything was just pidgin?
They did yeah, there was say I could say British English primarily. But what the main language in Cameroon is, or at least you can say the official language is French. And when it comes to the English part, a lot, not everywhere, not everyone speaks, I'll say English, but because it's primarily French, but they had their own, like there are very many indigenous languages. So one tribe speaks something, the other tribe speaks something, but they both either primarily speak French or English if they're speaking to each other. But once they go back to their tribes, they can go right back to their own languages. Like my mother, she like her tribe's language is different than my father's tribe's language, but they had to learn English or French.
Got you. And man, even with the English part, that's that English, and then American English.
Yes.
Those are two totally different things. Also, two totally differently. You know what I mean? So yes,
Yeah.
yes. So man, I think that's also is a little small, totally different from pidgin to English, but a little British English. Just a
Yes.
small little different twists and turns. Because yes, the things that you heard growing up as the young ones, their English can really change, can get a little wild and
Yeah.
some. So just imagine just trying to learn English, but then you start hearing these other words and whatnot. Yeah, I think it made a little difficult here and there, right?
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially when I was said back here, nobody could actually understand me for a little bit.
I can imagine, man. That was a rough one, huh? I bet they teased you and everything, huh?
Yeah, but like the thing is, I didn't understand that they were teasing me until later on.
So it worked out both sides. Right? Yes, yes, man. So she was born here. So you went back over there. So when you came back to the states, about how what was your age when you came back to the states?
I was about, I was around 5 years old, like four or
Okay.
five, and yeah, yeah, I think I was four, around there, and yeah, still, it's still got some early memories of how it was like. So yeah,
Okay. So that was back in the. Did you go back to Detroit or did you come back to Georgia?
I came back to Detroit, but
Right.
then we moved quite a bit actually.
Okay, okay. Man, yeah, I can imagine as being as a kid and traveling. You know, that's a little rough, little way to go. Don't get settled
Yeah,
down somewhere. You know, real nice and easy is get a little rough sometime when you have to travel and travel and travel.
oh yeah,
I have a little idea about it. Mess around, with this stuff right here. Yeah, every year, 2, 3 years, go. Yeah, you get tired of that a little bit. So I can imagine as a kid, you're having to go, you're traveling from different places, different place. But she did settle down somewhere,
yeah.
which is at
Right here in Middle Georgia.
right here, Warner Robins, Georgia, right?
Yep.
The war town. Yes, yes. So man, so growing up on this side over here, so you can understand them, they can understand you. But as far as with the language, with the different things that you see now, how was it growing up over here for you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So a lot of it, especially early on, was just a lot of confusion. I remember I not only was it hard for people to understand me, like teachers and other students, it was also a weird look, right? Like just because the environment was different, people were different. I felt like I discovered people could look way different than me. I'm gonna let you know, like as a little kid, coming from earliest memory, crawling around in Africa to where I can walk and speak, coming over here, I I tell people this sometimes, but it was kind of like this. It's like I've never seen a white person before until then, at least not in my head, and then I've never seen other different types of people before, and I'm like, this one looks pale, brown hair. This one looks almost orange. This one looks has like the long hair. Things were different, and I didn't know what to do. Even when I was in school, I didn't know what the foods are. I didn't know how things were supposed to go. They were explaining it to me, but it didn't feel like how it was in Cameroon.
Right.
But for the short period of time I did schooling there, and coming over here, and the dynamics between the students and the teachers, they were different. They were still authority figures, but how they conduct themselves towards children is different, and how children would conduct themselves to each other. I was still trying to figure that out because I didn't particularly like relate to anybody, and those who at least that looked like me, that was only like few of them at the time in my classroom, and I found out quickly that they couldn't understand me either. So it was like I didn't know what's going on. That was the rough. That was at least a little bit of the rough part. It was just the getting used to it. It was getting over the culture shock, the confusion, and trying to absorb my surroundings. Almost like again, right? It's between those two different environments. So after I got at least past the point where I can, things got a lot better. Like my mom started speaking more English at home just to help me and my brother out.
Right.
And after that, I would say things did get a lot smoother, but the other stuff arose from that. First, I found out not just that things around me was unconventional, like no one was able to say my name. I didn't even go by Keith up until
Right.
it was until third grade. No, it was until second grade.
What they
By
calling
Keith.
you?
I didn't know my name was Keith until second grade. Mine I went by Moye, and
Ah,
that
okay.
was my middle name. But we would go by like a certain system, Christian, traditional name, last name, and Christian just means like anything non-traditional. So people couldn't say either of my name right. Like I, it was that was the more so the hardest part ever. But after say just past and generally broad strokes speaking, I I guess I got more of I got assimilated to the American like culture, and I was able to relate a lot better once at least the language part and
Got over
the
that.
culture shock part, and I was learning was out of the way. Once that got out of the way,
A little
we got
better.
everything.
Okay. So now, mom, she's from Cameroon. So how long was she living here before y'all came over here? How long was she staying over here?
And that's a good question. She's mentioned roughly. She's mentioned that, but I can't quite remember now. I just remember it was by the time she said she spent a few decades over here.
Okay.
I was already like I think it was no. She said like almost like 2 decades or something, or a little bit more than that. And I was in my teenage years, so I can't exactly pinpoint it down. At least how much he spent time here,
Right.
but I just know it's been like around two decades.
Okay. Okay.
Like I think no, probably just thinking a little bit more than that. There's a little bit more than 2 decades, but yeah, because though she grew up in Cameroon, she left for school to other countries to further her education. So
Okay.
yeah,
So then I can imagine that she will probably still was teaching a lot of Cameroon ideas
yes,
as we're growing up. Not just, yeah, just because we're over here, I'm not going to teach you over here. I'm going to teach you Cameroon.
yeah,
I'm going to teach you home, not over here. Probably like more style like that, huh?
yes.
So that probably made it a little hard
Oh yeah,
still when you get to school then because you're not doing everything like everybody else was doing. So you had to try to dissect both of them, huh?
yes,
Oh,
yes.
okay, okay.
And not only that, when she because of the environment was different and things were different, she did modify her way of doing that,
Okay.
and she did, and for the most part, she did what she could, because this happened early, but it was just me, my brother, my mom, and my father left a picture while I was very young, so I guess she didn't get to do everything that I knew that she would want. based off of those circumstances.
Right.
But I definitely still got the Cameroonian part. Like I have not stopped eating Cameroonian food being here. Like in Cameroon, I remember going back there just to see if we'd eat anything like say different than what we usually have here. For the most part, nah, I did not miss. I didn't miss too much.
Hey, man, if I was you, I would not throw that out either. Especially what we have over here sometimes, man. I would try to get away some of the food that we have over here myself. It makes things like this over here. But that's a good part of it. You know what I mean? Because I know that there's a lot of vegetables over there.
Oh yeah.
Things that's a whole lot better than the grease and the lard and all that kind of things like that. So I can understand that one. That's a better thing to do. You know what I mean? Do not throw the food away. You know what I mean, man?
100%. It's good too.
Yes. Yes, I remember, just a little bit, me and Mom, especially, when we talk about the boxing thing later on, that, she had some ideas about, I don't know about him boxing. I don't know. And we had to go and talk to her, about it, before she was like, okay, a little bit, she seemed like she was okay, but at the same time, I don't know about him getting hit now.
Yes. Oh, definitely.
She didn't like the idea. He getting hit. Boxing? I don't know. She was cool with Taekwondo, but the boxing, she was, that was a different thing for her. So how did it happen that you get a chance to start with the Taekwondo? How did that happen?
All right. Yeah, it happened as an outlet because, as while I was growing up, as I mentioned, my father, our relationship is strained, and it began very early on to where that bothered me a lot, especially as a young kid. So,
Okay.
from what would happen from that is I was doing a lot of things to not only cope but trying to fix what I thought what I saw was broken. Like I would try to get my father to. I tried to speak with my father as much as I could, but he sometimes just for long periods of times we just go without talking. And as I was trying to contact him, there was times where like I'd fight with my mom. That happened a lot, and it's really in basically in saying that I want to run away with to my father and all those type of things. So as that was happening, she just saw that I was troubled, and I just really wanted to. I guess again, like I said, I wanted my family, like father, mom, and all that. But if nothing was gonna happen between those two, I could at least see my father. Wasn't getting any of that, and I was aggressive. I was a very friendly kid, but I was also quick to anger. It was not hard to actually get me to slap somebody in the face, and this happened before. It was. And we were looking around just to see what I could do because after school, there was nothing really much to do except just stay in the house and get trouble and hit my brother when he made me mad. So
I bet that wasn't that hard. Huh?
Not at all. He was asking for it sometimes. But he found Taekwondo, and I was thinking the idea of martial arts, it just sounded cool in my head, and we just started in, and my behavior improved just because I had an outlet, something to do, something to focus on. And from there, I kind of associated martial arts, or at least how people can use martial arts to improve themselves,
Right.
as like what I could do to learn how to be a man almost.
Yes, too many people think about martial arts striking as I'm gonna learn to fight. I'm learning to fight. I learn to fight. Nah, so much goes behind that.
Yes.
People don't think about the discipline that goes with it. The mindset. How do I use what I'm learning? I can hurt you with this, but I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna get you out, get you off me, to make you stop.
Yeah.
To make you, people don't think about those type of things. And for the things that you're talking about, especially for striking, that's one of those outlets.
Oh yeah.
Instead of hitting a person, I get to hit this bag. I get to hit these pads and I get to strike this, and it makes you feel better. You know what I mean? Just a little mental that it's not like I'm mad about the person, but I'm mad about around that person, and I get to hit this strike and take this out, take it out on this, take it out on this, and not taking out on somebody. So maybe some type of mindset around that. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure your mind was not thinking I'm gonna beat up my dad,
Yeah.
but since I can't see my dad, I'm gonna take it out on the bag, take it out on that. Maybe that type of mindset, right?
Oh, definitely. Only that it really helped in not only in like those ways. It also just gave me like a goal to do you know to strive for, rather than, I guess, after I'm done with school, the grades are fine, and I'm just kind of sitting there just thinking, oh, what do I do? You can't watch TV all the time, can't do this, and I'm yelling at my brother all the time. So it's
Right.
so it was a way to, okay, I'm doing this, and now I get to think about something else. I get to think, oh, man, about maybe how far I want to go. I get to maybe think if there's other stuff that I could do, and I just ended up really liking Taekwondo, and a lot of the stuff that was like coming with it, because not only was while doing it, I noticed I'm in a lot less trouble, especially physically. It was, I got a little bit better on handling my emotions, at least following my mother's advice on how I should handle when I'm hot tempered. So that made me want to go through it even more, because I felt there was some like improvement on myself, on my character. So
Right.
like, I'm doing good. So I want to get, and it's partly because of this. So I wanted to keep going.
And those are little things that everyone don't see that, in the martial arts. Yes. So I mean, while you were there, with the gym that we was at, you had also had a chance to do some jujitsu and also some boxing, also, right?
Yeah.
So those either other things that helped you with the discipline, the mindset, how to manage these situations that you're going through, because we know in jujitsu, and definitely in boxing, you don't get a chance to have everything go the way you want it to, but you have to take care of it, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like life.
Yes, like that. But it's really good to hear that he was going through those martial arts and finding those different things within the martial arts to help him inside. You know what I mean? To start to mellow out a little bit and find his to mellow that aggressive mindset that he had. But about that mindset, though, that aggressiveness, that come around to when we got around to boxing. Because one of the very first times that we started talking about boxing, I asked him, why do you like boxing? And your response was,
I like to hit people in the face.
it was funny to me. The good mindset, because in boxing you definitely have to hit people in the face. But in the backside, I'm thinking, man, do we have any anger? Do we have any anger going on, built up or something? What's going on?
And I found out that fact in Taekwondo, just letting you know. We could never hit in the face, and I was so disappointed.
Oh man, dang! I get a chance to release, but not all the way.
Yeah. That's it.
Oh man! But it was good that boxing got a chance to fully release yourself. because we got a chance at the gym and when the competitions to hit some people in the face. But at the beginning, we'll say it was a little rough at the beginning, though. Because
100%.
the first couple of matches that we have, a couple of them was the judges. They got us a few times. Well, me saying a few times is being nice, but they even that early they got us a few times, and it was bothering with you a little bit because two of the fights we was like, man, I know I hit him so many times. What is going on? Even your mom, when she came to the one, she was like, yo, what? Why? He hit him so many times. Why? He hit him more than he hit him. How he lose? Why? And that made her mad when she saw it, right? You remember that one?
Yeah, still my fourth one. She couldn't. She almost couldn't see. She did this while she was watching too, but she was still looking.
Yes, and she was like she didn't understand boxing, but she understand you need to hit him a lot of times, and he hit him a lot, and he didn't hit as many. And how did he not win? She understood that part, right? Yes. But as you went on, you started learning though. How you get in there and fight. You couldn't go in there and be too slow with it. You found out that I couldn't just rock and roll up in there because tiredness, mind not set. Your mindset is not set what you're trying to do, and things can go crazy, but later on you figure how to, okay, so this is how you box. Right?
Oh yeah.
By the time we got to ringside, right?
Yes, honestly, a lot of I did a few things to kind of get me in that mode, especially by the time you got to ringside, because I found out one of the biggest problems of me was is that though I liked boxing, I was neurotic to a certain extent. Like I could stress a bit easy, and I was thinking to myself, all right, I know there's got to be some ways to kind of calm my spirit. I don't want to be so hyper fixated that I just charge in at him, and I don't want to be, I don't want to, like you said, too slow. I don't want to be not like too nonchalant to where I'm not paying attention to what's going on.
Right.
So I was doing things like looking up different ways, researching different ways I could not only calm myself but kind of improve my performance. And I was out, and anytime I'd feel some nervousness, I listened to like binaural beats to, you can say, calm, to help calm my nerves and just relax.
Like calm violence.
Yep. And not only that, I'd like walk a certain way. I'd fix my posture, especially even just before ringside. I remember just practicing at school because I knew I was going, just fixing my posture, because they said like you can act in a way that can change your mindset. If you don't feel it in here, if you act the part, you can eventually feel it in here. It's like if you're not feeling good, if you smile anyway, and if you force to smile, hold it for a little bit, you actually start to feel better. It was things along those lines.
And people see that too.
Oh yeah. Honestly, somebody said, "Why are you walking like you own the place?" And I was like,
"Hey, I do."
So like that really helped me out, because by the time ringside, when it was going on, especially the day one, as I was boxing, after the first few seconds, things settled down. It was like I felt a lot better here, and that I was able to do the things that I was training for. And not only that, mid match, I remember, just to emphasize that, nah, I'm feeling good, I'm doing good, I just smiled at him. I smiled at my opponent. I did that twice right before he was gonna attack. Smiled at him, and then we went to work. So I remember, I just got to keep going with that, and I did it for each of the days. I was like, nah, I know I got this. I shouldn't let anything overtake me, and whether I'd be a little bit nervous or not, I was like, nah, I can still, as long as it's under control. It doesn't matter how nervous I am. By the time I get in there, I don't really feel it.
Right. Just because I smile at you, that does not mean I'm not trying to knock you out. Does not mean I'm not trying to infect and to make pain to you. I can smile at you and still hit you in your face, right?
Yeah.
It all worked together.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, that's why I was smiling. I was good.
And matter of fact, if I hit him, it makes me smile also. Oh man, that was good. That was very good, man. But that's good to hear that you were learning those things about yourself. And what I really like about let me go and research different things. Let me research these things to calm myself down and still be assertive. So that's very good. And your body, in the Marine Corps, we were big about that. Chest up, head up. That's where you walk. You know what I mean? Stand up straight. When you walk back straight, stand up straight. And you walk in somewhere, hey, we used to tell people that, hey, when you walk in the room, you own this bed. You know what I mean? It's yours now. You walk in this field, it's yours now. If you're there, you own it now. You know what I mean? So I totally understand, that mindset. And sometimes you walk in the building and they have different ways of teaching this to people out there. But you walk in the building and people look to see how you walk in the building. You walk in and you're lunched and head down. Who's this dude here? You know what I mean? You walk in, chest up, looking around. Hey, how's it going? Hey, who is he? You know what I mean? But they can see that the confidence on you, depending on how your body, how you carry your body. They people see that. So that was good. That was some good research there, seeing that. And even though a lot of people think that in the fighting world that no one is scared, but you can better believe that people see you sometimes and you act a certain way, you stand a certain way, you look at somebody in their face, in the eyes, in a certain way. They may not be scared, but they're thinking. Their mind will drift a little bit. What? Is he crazy? If he really want, he don't really look like he's really worried about me. Is that? Yeah, that your body tell people a lot. You know what I mean? That was very, very good to looking at and that was very good to look at, to find that information. You know what I mean? But man, so man, after school and everything, the boxing, the taekwondo, for making it through school. How was it in high school? I mean, so now you get a little older, you get to high school, and you start to feel how it is over here. You started seeing the trends. You started hearing the talking. What's the word I'm trying to think about? The slang words over here. So now you've been around it for a little while. By the time you got to high school, how was high school? How was that going for you?
Yeah.
For the friends, your girls, your girlfriends, how was that making it the full thing? Your social, how was that going in high school?
Well, though, okay, I'm gonna have to put it like this.
Don't tell me all the small detail. I don't need the big ones. I don't need the big detail.
Okay, gotcha.
Go ahead, my bad. Go ahead.
Sorry. Okay, broad strokes of it was just I definitely was still learning, but because of the confusion and that I was very well attuned to my background, but while learning here, there was still a little bit of a gap, right? Like when it comes to stuff like slang, I have asked, "What does that mean?" so many times. I was like, I remember I heard first cap. I was like, "What does that mean? Why are you saying cap?" He said, "What?" And it happened like that a lot. But my brother, on the other hand, now I don't know how or who. I think it was maybe who he was hanging out with, but at least with his crowd, like he got that stuff. He picked it up faster
He
than
was
I
on
did.
it, huh?
Like faster, I heard it quicker from him than anybody else, and I almost felt like my mother, because when some slang would pop up, my mom would ask also, what does that mean too? So when it comes to learning those type of things, I'm like, all right, I'm still a bit behind, not just with like just how I was being socialized, but also the type of people I find myself with. It wasn't too. I guess you could say I found myself amongst all some socially awkward people, and some who are a bit the things they like are a little more niche. They're not too popular, at least at the time, and I don't know. I since being around those people, it's different. It made high school a little bit different for me than a lot of people that I saw. At least the regular high school students. I didn't do a lot of the things that my peers were doing. I just did very few things, and I just kept doing it.
A lot of peer pressure, or were you around? Did you put yourself in the right predicament for peer pressure to bother with you? Were you around that, or not really?
Yeah, not really. Anytime stuff like would come up, like I remember being told, don't like guys beware of smoking, don't do these things, da 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 da. And I was thinking to myself, how do you find yourself in that situation? I just realized I just did three things all the time. It was basically school, the boxing gym, and actually just home, right, or family. So it was those three things. I just didn't focus on. I didn't throw myself into major parties. I wasn't looking to mix in with certain crowds that I felt were a little bit shady for any reason. If they kind of made me uncomfortable, I'd find others who wouldn't put me in those situations.
Real friends.
Yeah, and then they never did too much on that. And then those who were a bit on the bit on the wild side or the edge of that, they just respected my decision and they didn't want to do anything with it because Keith's not that type of guy. We're not going to do all that. Plus, I didn't spend exactly too much time on it. Like I said, I had to divide what I could do, divide my time with what I wanted to do, and that helped me just not think about or worry about, say, things like being popular or anything like that, even though that kind of happened later on. Because when people found out I boxed, oh, shoot, we got a guy at school that boxes? That's cool. Tell us about it. And then people started getting scared of me for no reason.
Because I'm going to hit you in your face. I love it. Oh, man. Man, I wish I had that when I was in high school. Stay away from the balance. Man, that was attracting me. I'm like, I'll drive, instead of stay away. That's what I needed to do. I should have stayed away. But yeah, that's very good to hear about that. That's a good mindset that a lot of people does not have. Just go where you need to go. Go where you like to go. If I don't like all those crazy stuff, I don't need to go there. Why? Yeah. If I don't want to drink, I don't need to drink. If I don't want to be around the weed, I don't need to be around that. I'm at home. I get to the gym, hit people in the face, go back home and think about it. I'm good now. Go to school tomorrow and tell somebody about it. I'm good, right? Oh, man. That's awesome. So, man, now, so you get out of school. So you're in college now. Yeah. So how's it going in college now?
Oh, college is going pretty well. It definitely took a different type of schedule managing because now I work, I do like in college, I'm trying to like box, all these different things that go into it, and I think the real test of college was really just time management, just devoting enough time to do well in each thing, and also trying to find time for myself because I remember like my first year of college, it was
being grown.
Yeah, it was hard. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, I just wanted a day to do absolutely nothing. And I remember asking for that, and at that point, it let me know that. No wonder why adults sit down sometimes and it's like, all right, it's my day off. They just don't do anything. They just don't do anything.
Leave me alone. Do not come to my door. Do not.
Yeah, don't call me after 10. Don't call me after this amount of time. I'm not picking up. All these different things. that year just let me know, all right, I understand. My mother a bit more. I understand the other adults a bit more, and it was a definitely a big challenge just putting all those together, especially when about that time COVID hit, the lockdowns were happening.
Yeah, that messed up everything.
Yeah.
Messed up a lot. Not everything, but it messed up a lot. Right?
So it's a lot of things was going on, and I was just trying to piece it together. But as as the lockdowns like lessened and to the point we're at now, and the more and more I was doing around, maybe trying to hop from job to job, or just finding a different job to do, or just try to just find something else to do with my time. Now that I had more of it, I've been feeling. I think I've been feeling better as of recently, but before, like, say the first 2 almost 3 years, it was just I was really just trying to find a place to clear my head, because it wasn't just college and the rest of my life that was going on, but it was also kind of like the future. But the future, though I had a plan, I know what I wanted to do. There's ways to get there, but I was also kind of thinking about how would that actually be. Once I'm there, am I still just going to be looking forward? Like, when do I sit down and be like, all right, this is the life? I just felt like I just wanted some rest at some point.
He's just starting.
Yeah.
He already looking for rest.
See, it was. I just felt like I put a lot on myself.
Nothing wrong with that. As long as you're always striding. What's next? I have something I have something somewhere I'm trying to get to. Keep going for it, right? Yeah. And we are not going to get there by not going. Or like I was telling y'all about the gym yesterday, right? You don't finish if you don't finish, right?
Yep. You don't finish if you don't finish.
That's the only way you're gonna finish it, right? You got all this work to do. Hey, you have somewhere you're trying to get to. You're trying a certain goal. You're not gonna get there unless you get there. Still have to keep trying, right? That's what we have to do, man. So, man, so what's going on with the rap, the rap thing? So now, part with that, what I'm thinking also, because I've heard some of your a couple of your songs, and some of the songs that you be spitting now, and I'm listening to them, I'm listening, I'm like, is she bothering with him or something? Did they break up? What did she do to him? Is he talking to her, or he just making this up? Well, it sounds like he. So what's going on? You fussing with her? Are you fussing at her? You trying to let her know? Hey, leave me alone right now. So what's going on with that right there?
Okay. So, all right, about my music. So, some of it was just partly some, past experiences, mostly high school, right? Like, because now, when it comes to at least the relationships I write about in my music, some of it is a combination of a few things. One, some of it, like partly, I've been through some of that before, but it wasn't really a lot, right? Because right now, so the relationship I have right now, I've been with her for 5 years, and I've only ever dated 2 people, including her. So second time I tried, it's like, oh, okay, that's nice, right? Got it.
Nice.
But the first one, some of the stuff that I got through with her, I was a teenager, so it felt intense, and I do think, definitely some of it shouldn't happen. We could make better decisions, but we were in high school. I just still decided to write about it because at some point, in my head, I'm like, hey, if you're gonna cause me unnecessary stress, I'm writing about it.
That's so throw it back to her, right?
Yes, this is good material. This is good music.
I remember that. I remember you. I got you now.
Actually, that's what was going through my head at the time. And some of the other stuff is just what I hear other people go through. 'Cause,
Right, right.
some of my friends, they let me know some of the stuff that's going on, and other ones just they just talk about their past experiences. Sometimes they're lamenting and all those things, and I hear it enough to where I can kind of put the pieces together, and I'm like, okay, nah, this is not to say I'm hearing it and then time to write about it. It's more like I heard about it, these types of things so often that I can kind of see the mind of what it's like to go through it. And when I'm looking for musical inspiration, I'm not like sitting down with the exact plan to write about one particular thing, unless like not too often at least. I usually just like to listen to the types of beats I like to listen to, and then when I like one, and then I start getting some type of song going in my head, those things tend to just pour out. So there is that's how I use, I guess, the experiences of other people plus myself and just what I'm learning about life in general to write the songs that I write. And for some reason it just so happens, I think it's just because of my age and my peers, that there's like heartbreak going on, or everybody's complaining about each other. Just, but I should try to look at the other positive stuff, but that is just tends to be what comes out because my peers like to talk to me about it. My friends really enjoy these. Just to say, I'm a good ear for them. So that's what ends up happening. And also, you're not the only one who reacts that way after listening to some of it. I have played my songs to my girlfriend, and she is sat in the car and was like,
Talk about me.
Yeah, literally. I thought our relationship was going well. I was like,
That's not me.
Like, who are these other women? I'm like, no.
You know me. Hey, what? But I enjoy your music, man. I really like it because you're not telling some stories about killing people, and you're not telling about drugs and everything. It's some nice music, man. Not all the cursing and everything like that. I mean, some, and I love your beats, man. You come up with some good beats. When you have a good beat, it makes it easy to flow to it.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. So a good beat, man, can get you rocking and rolling on that bad boy. But it's good stuff, man. It's very good stuff. I really like it. Now, all right. So now next time I hear one, I know who you're talking about now. All right. But man, we skipped over something, man. For school though, what are you doing in school? What you Matt? What's the word? What are you?
What am I studying?
What are you studying in school? That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I'm studying. I'm a psychology major, and I'm trying to use that to get into neuropsychology.
Okay, all right.
What neuropsychology does is it studies the relationship between your brain, right, and the physical structures, how it works to your behavior, right? So what's the relationship between how your brain physically is to how you will act? So
That's where the rap's coming from.
and I'll drop from anything, even my own studies. So right now I'm just doing the first part of it. Because at first I wanted to be a clinical psychologist, and they do something different. It's a lot of it is therapy and other treatment techniques for those who have clinical psychological problems. Right.
Okay, okay.
There was that, but then after speaking with one and getting some perspective on it, I was like, I might have to go to neuropsych. Being a clinical psychologist, having somebody fall in love with you just because you're listening to them and you're helping them. I don't want to deal with all that. I had a small episode like that in high school, and I don't want to repeat that. So I was like, I'll go the research route.
You never know. Yes, people in the hospital, things happen like that sometimes, Yeah, man. So yes.
But it's very interesting, especially how I came about choosing psychology. It was mainly one of the suggestions my mother gave to me because of the way I behave and my interests. Because I was interested in motive, like first people's motives, not just what they're thinking about in their head, but maybe other reasons why. And I've always said I wanted to be a scientist from a small kid. My mom would ask, "What
Okay.
do you need to know what you want to be when you grow up?" And she'd ask that a lot, almost like, "All right, it's been 2 years. What do you want
She's
to be when
still
you grow up?"
on
This
you.
stuff.
She's been on you with that, right?
Yes. And from even as while in elementary school, I just said scientist because I knew I liked science and I liked to gather data to find stuff out. And not only that, think ways how we could use it, make predictions based off of information. And I really like doing that.
And
So
get her off her back, right?
that happened all the time. So when she said psychology, I was like, okay, that because it was right up my alley with at least some of my fascinations. And then when I found out, wait, you can use this, you can be a scientist with this. That sounds perfect. And I took one psychology class in high school, and I was like, oh no, I love this. This is I have learned some of the most interesting things that bring kind of people in a new light, and also brings myself in a new light. So I'm just not just studying people and the circumstances and other things pertaining to them, but I'm also looking into myself while I'm studying it. So
Right.
it's a very fascinating subject, and it goes in many, many, many different directions. I'm just glad I picked one.
Sounds like a good one, man. That is very good. I hope to see you get better with that, and to get where you're trying to get to with that. That's what's up, man. That's awesome, man. So man, that was good. That's good hearing everything, man. It's very good to hear the direction that he's going in. It's very, very good. Getting over those hurdles, getting over, from Cameroon to here, the difference between the speaking, the grammar, from there to here, trying to learn English over here, the American English, trying to get through the slang and trying to talk to the kids growing up. Those are it sounds something easy, but that's a problem right there. You know what I mean? If you've never been to another country before, if you have not been to another country before, I'm just saying that because, being in Okinawa, Japan, and trying to talk to the locals, and you don't know Japanese, and they don't know English that much, that's a problem. So I can understand what he's talking about. When he first got in here, he couldn't get the English all down. He didn't have it down yet. And so that's a problem. You know what I mean? That's a hurdle that you really have to keep striding to get over that. You know what I mean? And I love the hearing the different aspects of managing the anger that you had to go through. And these days, a lot of people are always talking about beat that, bad dad, beat that, blase, hey, it's life, so you have to figure a way something out. You know what I mean? So it was good to hear that you found a way out, found a way to manage that, and you being the big man that you are now, the good grown man that you are now. You know what I mean? People say that a mom can't do it by himself. I beg to differ. You can, she can, they can grow up good young man, grow young good men. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. There's some emphasis bothering with me right now. But and even to go with that is, you heard him talking about it. He didn't want to be out there. He didn't want to be out there in the streets. He didn't want to be around the weed. He didn't want to be around the alcohol. yo, mom taught very well, and he listened very well, and that's is it's not on one side. It's not he just a good listener, and she was saying it. They both did it together. She was teaching, and he was learning, and he did the most important part. He put it in action and made sure. No, I didn't need to be out here. I found some other things that makes me feel better. You know what I mean? Hitting people in the face in the gym. It make me feel better than out there in the streets, right? You know what I mean? So that's very, very hearing those things and hearing the rap. So now I know that there is some things behind some of that,
Yeah.
those raps. Another way of all those is different ways of expressing yourself. You know what I mean? We all have some things in our heart. We have some things in our mind. Sometimes we have to get it out some type of way. And it's good to hear that you found a good way to dealing with those things. You know what I mean? Man, it was awesome. Awesome to have you here with us today, man. So I know you have some kind of way that people can look you up.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has some type of his, all the social we have. I can't even remember them all. The TikTok, the face, everything, and your where your music is at.
Yeah.
So can you let everyone know where they can find you at, where they can find your music at?
Yeah, no problem. My my music is on all major digital platforms, even some minor ones, so Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, iTunes, Apple Music, like even much more than that. My stage name is King Mwaye, so I use my middle name for it. That's King Mwaye. If you can't say it, you can just say the first part. Just call me King. And on whether it be Snapchat, Instagram, etc. On my socials, it's K.Mwaye, and that's how you can find me. So that's also on YouTube, Instagram, and Snapchat. And what else? No, that's it for the most part. And my personal ones, because I have two Instagrams, is one of them is Ekwese, Ekwese. That one. I'm gonna have more regular photos and stuff like that. And my other Instagram, K.Mwaye, is just my music page.
All right. You heard it. Go find them. Follow it. Get it. Get it all for him. Now, what's the name again? King
Mwaye.
King Mwaye.
Mwaye. Like, imagine like chef's kiss, moi, and then yay.
That's why I call him Keith. That's why.
That'll
Especially
work
right
too.
now. My tongue is really messed up. So, yeah, Keith. But again, King,
Mwaye.
go find him. Go get it. Buy it. Hey, man, we love having you here today. And like I said, some other things that it's not yours. It's not your story. My story is not your story. Your story is not my story. But every story counts. All right. So, hey, it's been me, Rockefeller Brown, here at Fight Within the Fight at the Big Red Corner. So, once again, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
For you, we'll see you on the next one. All right. Thank you. Peace out.